Welcome to the D-Dam Mix channel. We invite you to watch our new story. To stay up to date with new stories, subscribe to our channel. I ran my fingers along the smooth wooden frame of the bed, letting my touch linger on its edges. The mattress felt soft beneath my palm, plush yet firm, the kind of bed that invited you to sink into it and forget the world. Satisfied, I let out a small breath, lay down, and shut my eyes. For a moment, I let myself imagine what it would be like to end every day like this, wrapped in comfort. No deadlines pressing in, no city noise blaring through thin apartment walls. Just as I was about to enjoy this tiny escape, a voice cut through the stillness. "Can I help you with something?" My eyes flew open, and I shot up, my face burning with embarrassment. A store clerk stood beside me, her lips twitching with barely contained amusement. "Oh, yes," I stammered, hastily smoothing out my clothes as I scrambled to sit up properly. "I really like this one. I'd like to arrange for delivery." The clerk nodded but didn't move to write anything down. Instead, she kept staring at me, her gaze lingering just a second too long. I shifted uncomfortably. "Is something wrong?" I asked, quickly running my tongue over my teeth in case there was something stuck there. She hesitated for a moment before speaking, her voice softer this time. "Scarlett? Is that really you?" The way she said my name made something in my mind click into place. I blinked at her, my head tilting as recognition stirred somewhere deep inside me. Then it hit me. "Lucy!" I gasped, my voice lifting with excitement. Before I knew it, I was wrapping my arms around her, squeezing her tight. She let out a surprised laugh before hugging me back just as fiercely. "Lucy. My childhood best friend. My next-door neighbor. The girl I had spent summers riding bikes with, sneaking out past curfew, dreaming about life beyond this little town. We had promised each other we'd leave one day, move to the big city, and never look back. And yet, here we were. When we finally pulled away, she gave me a playful nudge. "Small town, huh?" she said with a grin. "I swear, you can never really leave. How long have you been back? What's your life like now? Where do you work? Married?" I laughed at the flood of questions and answered them in one breath. "Yes. No. Not bad. Realtor. No." Lucy threw her head back and laughed. Still the same Scarlett. Straight to the point. She flipped open her notebook, business mode kicking in. "Okay, let's get this delivery sorted so we can catch up. Lunch is on me. You owe me your whole life story." I smiled, the weight of the past few weeks lifting just a little. "Deal." The small restaurant felt like home, the kind of place where time moved slower. Soft chatter filled the air, blending with the sound of clinking glasses and the occasional burst of laughter from the older couple in the corner. A ceiling fan spun lazily above us, and the warm glow of the hanging lights made the wooden tables look even more inviting. I tore off a piece of fresh bread and dipped it into my soup, letting the rich, savory aroma fill my senses. Across from me, Lucy rested her chin on her hand, eyes locked on mine as I spoke. "So, you're back for good?" she asked, tilting her head slightly. I nodded, swallowing before answering. "I think so. The city was exciting, but I missed this. The quiet. The people. You can go your whole life in the city and never really know your neighbors. Here, even the grocery store cashier feels like family." Lucy raised an eyebrow, the corner of her mouth lifting. "You sound like someone who's finally over the dream." I sighed, stirring my soup with my spoon. I guess I just realized the dream wasn't what I thought it would be. The city felt alive, but at the same time, it was so lonely. The hustle, the chaos, it wore me down. I was constantly chasing something, but I didn't even know what anymore. She nodded but didn't look fully convinced. I knew what she was thinking, because we had both once believed that leaving meant success. That staying meant settling. Before she could respond, my phone buzzed against the wooden table. I glanced down and saw a new message from Keith. Lucy leaned in immediately, smirking. Who's Keith? I rolled my eyes, locking my phone. Just someone from a local dating app. Nothing serious. Lucy snorted, crossing her arms. Sure. You forget how small this town is? If you're even remotely interested in someone, half the town will know before you do. I laughed, shaking my head. Well, then I better be careful. She tapped my arm playfully. Oh, come on, Scarlett. A fresh start in your hometown, a mystery man from a dating app, it's practically fate. I chuckled, but deep down, I felt a tiny flicker of excitement. Maybe, just maybe, she was right. That evening, I sat cross-legged on my new bed, pressing my palms into the mattress, feeling its softness beneath me. The room was quiet, too quiet. Without most of my old furniture, it didn't quite feel like home yet. The walls were bare, the shelves empty. Even the echo of my own movements reminded me that I was still settling in, still figuring out what this new chapter of my life was supposed to look like. Then, my phone buzzed. I picked it up, and there it was, another message from Keith. I felt a small flutter in my chest, a feeling I hadn't experienced in a long time. A feeling that made me feel almost foolish, like a teenager sneaking in late-night texts with a crush. His message was short but casual. What are you up to? I smiled as I typed back, just testing out my new bed. Finally feels like I actually live here. The reply came quickly. Good. So, how do you feel about town fairs? I hesitated for just a moment, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. A date. Was I really ready for that? But then I thought about the way Lucy had teased me, the way she had said I wouldn't be single for long. Maybe she was onto something. I took a breath and typed, sounds fun. See you there. After I hit send, I set my phone down and stared at the ceiling. A strange feeling crept over me, not fear, not regret, but something else. A quiet sense of déjà vu. Like my life was circling back to where it had all started, as if I had never left at all. The fair pulsed with energy, laughter, chatter, the shrill ding of game bells, and the rhythmic creak of a Ferris wheel turning against the night sky. Strings of colored lights stretched overhead, illuminating the crowds that moved in clusters, families with excited children, couples holding hands, groups of teenagers daring each other to ride the biggest attractions. I stood near the entrance, shifting my weight from foot to foot, trying to blend in. The air smelled like spun sugar, fried dough, and buttered popcorn. It should have been comforting, but my stomach twisted with unease. I hated this part. The waiting. The gnawing fear that I'd been stood up, again. I checked my phone. No new messages. My fingers curled around it, debating whether to text him first. Then, a voice behind me. Scarlett? I turned, and there he was. Keith. Tall, well-dressed but casual, with kind eyes and an easy smile. The kind of smile that put people at ease. Hope I didn't keep you waiting too long, he said smoothly. Not at all, I lied. As we walked through the fair, the conversation came naturally. He was charming in a way that didn't feel forced, funny without trying too hard. He asked me questions and seemed genuinely interested in my answers. It felt effortless, comfortable, like we'd done this 100 times before. And yet, something about him felt strangely familiar. His face, his voice, even the way he laughed, it all tugged at a memory just out of reach. He made comments about me that were oddly specific, things I hadn't told him. How I always chose caramel apples over cotton candy. How I avoided roller coasters but loved Ferris wheels. I finally stopped walking and turned to face him. Have we met before? I asked, trying to sound casual, even as unease settled in my chest. Keith's smile didn't falter. Just a lucky guess, he said. Something about the way he said it sent a shiver down my spine. We passed a photo booth, its bright, flashing sign advertising printed memories for $5. Keith reached into his pocket, pulling out some bills. "Get in line while I run to the restroom," he asked, pressing the cash into my palm before I could protest. I hesitated, then nodded. "Sure." I watched him disappear into the crowd. The line moved fast. Too fast. I glanced around, scanning for Keith, expecting him to return any second. But the minutes stretched. People shuffled impatiently behind me, sighing as I hesitated near the front. "Miss, are you going in or not?" the attendant asked. I swallowed the lump in my throat and stepped inside alone. The flash went off. I blinked, dazed, as the machine whirred. The strip of pictures slid out, still warm from the printer. I looked at them and felt a weight settle in my chest. My smile was forced. My eyes were red-rimmed. He left me. Just like before. Just like all the others. The night air was cool against my flushed cheeks as I walked home, my fingers tightening around the crumpled photo strip. My steps felt heavy, like I was dragging the weight of my past along with me. The fair had been full of life, buzzing with energy, but now, the silence of the streets only made my humiliation louder. How could I have been so naive? I'd been jilted before, ignored, ghosted, forgotten. But this felt different. This wasn't just a guy losing interest. This was personal. A lump formed in my throat, but I forced myself to swallow it down. I didn't want to cry over some stranger who had disappeared on me. Except, he wasn't a stranger, was he? Then, I saw him. Keith stood outside my house, hands stuffed into his pockets, his posture tense. The sight of him sent a jolt through me, anger, confusion, something deeper that I couldn't quite name. I approached cautiously, my voice tight. "What are you doing here?" He turned to face me, his expression unreadable. Then, he said the words that made my stomach drop. "Remember 20 years ago?" It hit me like a truck. The memories rushed back all at once. A chubby, awkward boy sitting alone at lunch. A folded note slipped into my locker, scrawled in shaky handwriting. A love letter, full of innocent hope. And me, standing in front of my friends, reading it aloud, laughing, crushing whatever courage it had taken him to write those words. I swallowed hard, my voice barely above a whisper. "You were that boy." Keith nodded. His jaw tightened before he spoke. "I never forgot it, Scarlett. The way you humiliated me. I thought if I saw you again, if I made you feel that same sting, maybe I'd feel better. But..." He let out a deep breath, shaking his head. "It didn't work. It was stupid. I realized I didn't want revenge. I just wanted you to know what it felt like." I looked down at my shoes, shame creeping up my spine. "I was awful to you," I admitted. "I don't know why I did it. I was young and careless, but that doesn't make it right. I'm sorry." Keith studied me for a moment, then gave a slow nod. "And I'm sorry for tonight." A long pause settled between us, thick with all the years and the things we never said. Then, I exhaled a small laugh, shaky, but real. "Maybe we try again? Start fresh?" Keith smirked, just slightly, and extended a hand. "Hi, I'm Keith." I hesitated, then smiled and took it. "Hi, I'm Scarlett." Maybe, just maybe, we had a second chance. Write in the comments what you think about this story and subscribe to our channel D-Damn Mix.